HyperCam options are stored in a number of places. Many dialog boxes have settings that contain options associated with how HyperCam computes things and so on. These are generally in dialog boxes, and those settings are stored in the registry. We'll come to the registry in a minute. In addition to the registry, which holds settings, there is an interactive set of preferences in this particular set of dialog boxes here. In particular, there is the color of the background window, which is normally black but can be another color. There is the color that is used for selection, which is normally green but could be another color, or if you're using sticks rendering, draw a thick line when you select a bond or an atom and so on. The bond colors are the colors that individual elements use, and so elements have their own colors. Alternatively, you can color everything the same color if you want to by using one of these settings. The isosurface colors are the colors of the positive and negative lobes of an orbital, for example. The standard is green and purple, but you can use other colors as well. The setup image is important for when you're making pictures of the screen and other things. The pictures that you can take in HyperCam are either of the whole screen of the HyperCam window, or of the workspace in HyperCam, or even of a dialog box in HyperCam, a top-level window. If you're wanting to create a manual or tutorials or something, you might want to take a picture of a dialog box, and you can do that by selecting top level here. The picture you take can be a bitmap or a meta file. If you want a high resolution picture for a printer, for example, you should take a metafile picture. The pictures that you grab can either go to a file or to the clipboard, or both. If they go to a file, you can name the file here which stores the picture that you're going to take. This sets up where the picture goes. The actual taking of a picture is done with a function key. F9 is the way to take a picture. There's another place here that's important, is the paths. The executable files is where it expects to find the back-end programs for mechanics and ab initio and DFT and semi-empirical and so on. The parameter files are generally stored in run files, and this points to where it will expect to find the parameter files. The paths for log files and script files are less interesting. These two paths need to be writable. The ab initio integrals, you obviously have to write those out, and that needs to go in a writable directory, and the default here is some temporary directory that HyperCam determines is writable. Same thing, that there needs to be a place to write various temporary files, and this directory is soon to be writable as well. The situation here is complicated by the policies of various universities and organizations, where they might, for example, require that certain directories be non-writable so that students can't mess them up or something. And in particular, HyperCam assumes that parameter files are writable because you have the option of changing parameters and creating new parameters and writing them out and so on. In many situations, this might be in a read-only directory, which will work fine unless you actually want to write new parameters out. Anyway, that's the main set of preferences. In addition to the preferences, there is the registry, and the registry in HyperCam is primarily under current user, under software, under Hypercube, and then under, in this case, 7.0, the current release of HyperCam. And under here are a bunch of settings that HyperCam stores the settings here. For example, under compute, there is the current calculation method, which is molecular mechanics. If you change this in HyperCam interactively to, say, semi-empirical, and then leave HyperCam, this gets changed here where that setting is stored, so that when you come back in a couple days and bring up HyperCam, the default method would be semi-empirical, or whatever method is stored here. There's lots of preferences, and they're all stored here. For example, there's let's see here. magnetic field strength. The standard magnetic field strength is 0.001, and if you can set that in HyperChem, but if you come back, it will always be 0.001 because the value is stored here. If you change it, you can change it interactively, and the new value, the changed value, would be stored in the registry here permanently. So that's the registry. Commonly, users don't modify the registry, and it's a little bit difficult to. It's not a very public place for all these settings, but this is where the HyperChem settings are stored. And some of these settings are available through the GUI. Other ones are only exist in this registry here. Anyway, those are the basic preferences for HyperChem.